So, do you want to get a drink sometime? Sure. Uh... You know what? I actually gotta go. Oh man. Hey y'all, I'm Matt, and today we're gonna be talking about flirting in D&D. Namely, how to do it properly, so you can avoid making your fellow players and the DM uncomfortable. So first off, I play on streamed and broadcasted games, and so we can wander into flirting fairly easily, as it's rarely, not never, but rarely, something that's established in a line or a veil. The standards there are a bit different, but still it's important to recognize boundaries, whether that's rating level, so you're not too raunchy, or comfort level, so you can keep an eye on each other so it stays fun. I do have some tips for you who want to add flirting into your gameplay at the table. I've been witness to some pretty masterful flirting in game, and I think I've learned a thing or two from their examples. First, be aware of your table dynamics. Sure, it might make sense for your character to flirt with this character or NPC, but bear in mind what that player or the DM is comfortable with. If you're in a campaign and you've got an idea, then talk with everyone. Make sure everyone at the table's comfortable with this. See where everyone's at. You need to know, first of all, that whoever you want to roleplay this with is gonna be cool with it. And if they're not, don't take it personally. Generally, it's not a reflection on you. Typically, a group consists of a band of friends, and it can be hard imagining yourself flirting with one of your best friends, even though you're technically not being yourselves. And things can get even hairier if one party in this flirtation is in a relationship with someone else at the table who isn't in this. Getting the okay from everyone at the table is a great first step. Making sure that you're all chill and comfortable and can recognize that this is just a scene in a game and not anything more than that. Additionally, if you have an idea for a character that will flirt a lot with everyone and you expect this character to get rejected by everyone, then please tell everyone, because this can change a player's perspective of, oh no, how am I gonna deal with that character flirting with me and me having to deal with that discomfort, into, oh, wait a second, I get to kick that character to the curb. I get to think of other ways to shut them down. And because you established that you expect them to be rejected, it can be a fun thing instead of a, if I do this, are they gonna not like me anymore for doing this to their character, for rejecting their character? And with everyone on the same page, that can be such a fun character to play, especially because your execution of this poor flirting can take so many different forms. I mean, just thinking of bad flirting, errors in romantic situations, already brings a lot of ideas to mind. Whether you're a pun person, yeah, I'm a bard. You know, I think you're pretty inspiring. You could say that you're musing. Or maybe a person who has trouble picking up on someone else's advances. Oh no, no coffee for me. It keeps me up at night. Or if you're the person who has the opportunity and just freezes up. And then when it comes to poor flirting, you have the beautiful opportunity to, at the very least in the case of the character who has bad puns, to eventually encounter an NPC who might be genuinely interested. But your character won't even pick up on that because they're so used to being rejected. Next, I want you to recognize why you want to do this. Everything you do as a character has a purpose. Does your character want companionship? Does your character want information? your character needs to have a reason to do this. And I want to emphasize that this is not a way for a player to make a move on another player at the table. If the player has feelings for another player at the table and they're trying to flirt with in-character interactions, then they're gonna take it way too personally. Whether the intended person reciprocates, "Oh, she loves me," or if the other character rejects the person. "I'm a crap-coated crap with crap filling." Next, consent is key, and it can be taken away at any point. This is true for everyone at the table. You need to pay attention at all times to everything that's going on, listening to everyone around you, listening to what the characters are saying, what the characters are doing, what the players are saying, and what the players are doing. If anyone at the table is uncomfortable, we can fade to black, steer away, or anything else that can bring us back to having fun. Flirtation can escalate very quickly into uncomfortable territory, so pay very close attention. I think of any flirtation at the table as being like a negotiation. If you're the initiator, you're the person presenting a proposal to the group. The character being flirted with is in charge of accepting or rejecting the proposal, but everyone else at the D&D table is also at this negotiation table. So they can provide input, whether it be through direct action, reaction, or body language. Stay in tune with all of this so you don't cross those lines and make people want to leave the table. Every line is an offer. You need to pay very close attention to the reaction, the counter offer, and react accordingly. Listen very carefully to what they say next. If you've ever seen two people on a first date, it's very obvious if someone isn't listening. And that's typically a big enough red flag to end things right there. If you want your character to flirt successfully, then they need to be present. You need to be present so that your character can react accordingly to what's being said and continue the back and forth. Now, beyond the words, you also need to pay attention to the other elements that aren't being said, the things surrounding those words. If someone is saying something positive, but their body language is saying the opposite, say they're closing themselves off in like more defensive posture, uncomfortable posture, or if you see the smile disappearing from their face, then that is an indication that you may have made them uncomfortable. Whatever you said or did was rejected for some reason, and that's huge. Make sure you recognize why that was. Is it because you didn't listen to what they said and continued forward with what you wanted to say? Is it because you said something that may have offended them, or done something that may have offended them? Think about it. If your character is aware enough, then stay in the moment and apologize. Sometimes it might be something that your character never would have known. Maybe your character mentioned something that strikes a nerve in their character's heart, and you couldn't have known that. But you staying present, recognizing and feeling what they're feeling allows you to continue forward and continue vibing with this person if they're still in the right headspace to continue. Additionally, I want you to know that this flirtation negotiation is a two-way street. In the course of your character trying to charm, stay aware of yourself too. If your counterpart starts showing some red flags, then by all means, steer away. For all you know, the character your character is flirting with could be the worst. And then your character might have to make an adjustment, might have to find a way to extricate themselves from this situation. Say your bard goes up to chat with a lovely woman at the bar. It starts okay. And then she starts to say some scary, murdery sounding things. Now you've got a great role-playing opportunity. So your character can attempt to get away without setting anything off, without offending this scary NPC. So we've gone into some fundamentals of flirting at the table. Making sure everyone's cool with it beforehand, there's a purpose for it, making sure everyone stays cool with it as you're going, and listening properly. If you can master those, then, well, then it's time to figure out how your character is actually going to flirt. And we'll go into that next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like it. If you have any comments, questions, please leave a comment. If you want more material like this, especially the continuation of flirting in D&D, then, well, subscribe. But until next time, take care.